Let's start by correcting one thing. This wasn't really a mini budget, was it? This was not just a budget, but possibly the biggest budget of, well, my lifetime, a generation or two. It was enormous. And one way you can see that is by looking at the scale of tax cuts we're talking about here. The higher these bars are, the more the tax cuts over various different budgets. Look, you can see it's going all the way back to those Geoffrey Howe budgets in the 1980s, Nigel Lawson, those famous Thatcherite budgets. This was bigger than any of them. Look at that red bar there. That's today. The biggest, actually, in terms of tax cuts since 1972. The Barber budget of 1972, that led to a big boom, which ended in a crash. Will this be the same? Well, we're going to have a look and see. But take a step back, first of all, and ask the question, who is this going to benefit the most? This chart gives you a sense of that. It's called a distributional analysis, and the higher the bars are, the more people benefit, the more money they're getting from this in terms of those tax cuts, from the lowest income through to the highest income. And well, you can probably see the pattern here. Look, it is the richest 5% who benefit disproportionately, and in large part because of that yellow slug there. That yellow bit is the additional rate of tax, 45%. That's gone, and so that money goes into their pockets. The rich just got considerably richer. It was all because, for Kwasi Kwarteng at least, he wanted to get growth higher. He wanted to get back to this kind of thing. This is the growth that we saw before the financial crisis, trend growth, so underlying growth you could more or less expect each year. And he's decided that he wants a 2.5% growth target. Right now, growth is, well, disappointingly low compared with that, 1.4% or so. So will this work? Well, obviously, proof will be in the pudding, but so far, economists from Capital Economics think maybe it'll add a tiny bit to that. So we're still a long way from that 2.5%. That might be disappointing, but even more so is what's happening in markets. The pound having an extraordinary day. This is where it was against the dollar. We're just looking over the course of the day here. So from the start of the day through to when that speech happened, the mini-budget happened, and look at what happened afterwards. Look at that line going down, 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 down through to there. That's the lowest it's been since 1985. But more to the point, that fall, about 3% against the dollar, is one of the biggest falls, one-day falls that we've ever seen on a budget day. This is just looking back over the course of the last couple of decades at the worst days, the single worst days for the pound against a basket of other currencies. You've got Brexit there, you've got many financial crises days there, and look at the red bar. This is among the top 10 worst days for the pound in recent history. And it's the only one on that list that comes directly from budget decisions. That's going to be something the Chancellor will be a little bit nervous about.